Hello, and welcome to the Desert Research Institute. My name is Dr. Kilowatt, and today I'm going to tell you all about our EnergySmart program. First though, I'd like to tell you a little bit about DRI and a little bit about myself.
The Desert Research Institute's purpose might seem obvious, but we study a lot more than the desert. We have research projects all around the globe, and some of our scientists are even looking at phenomena on Mars. While we stretch our brains around the world and beyond the stars, our campuses are located in Reno and Las Vegas, Nevada. Both cities offer plenty of opportunities for me to soak up some sun and to study energy.
Speaking of which, hello again. I'm Dr. Kilowatt. I use all of my energy to learn about energy, so I can teach you about energy. You may have noticed I'm saying the word energy a lot. What is energy? How does it work? Let's go over that a little bit. Energy is defined as the ability to do work. But don't worry, that doesn't mean that the energy is stuck inside an office all day. Whew. Anyway, there's energy everywhere, in everything on Earth. In the morning, when you're making a bowl of cereal or brushing your teeth before you start your day, you're using a bunch of energy. Doing anything really requires energy, so energy is constantly being transferred from you and me to the universe.
So there's energy everywhere, but there's more to it than that. There are many different forms of energy, some of which you might know. Can you think of any forms of energy off the top of your head? Please don't rub any light bulbs on your head. I had to learn that the hard way. Let's pause for a minute and talk about energy.
So as you may have discovered, there are quite a few different forms of energy. Let's go over them one by one. First, we're going to look at our big old daytime friend, the sun. The sun is the star of the show. Solar energy radiates from the sun and we can feel its effects. When you stand in the sun, you feel warm, right? That's because heat from the sun is warming your body. It's good for us and for plants. They need sunlight to make their own energy.
So there are actually two types of energy, renewable and non-renewable. Non-renewable energy comes in a limited supply and it will run out eventually. However, there's also renewable energy, which can be reused again and again and again, forever.
Solar panels, like these ones at DRI, are used to harness solar energy and generate electricity for cars, computers, microwaves, precious coffee makers, all kinds of stuff. While solar is one type of renewable energy, oil is one type of non-renewable energy. Oil forms when dead plant and animal matter, bones, leaves, algae, etc., are left below the earth or at the bottom of an ocean for around 50 million years. That's right, 50 million. Oil helps us power cars and generate electricity, but it is considered non-renewable because it takes a very long time for it to form. Have you ever popped food in a microwave and gotten frustrated because it took some time to heat up? It takes way longer for oil to form.
I wish I could power myself with a whole bunch of solar panels. Luckily, I don't need a whole bunch of electricity to live. Yes! So, there's a whole other form of renewable energy, wind energy. And similar to solar panels, it uses something that kind of just renews itself. The wind moving through the air.
So wind turbines are machines that are made to spin when a bunch of wind is blowing past them. So they're usually put in areas where there is a whole lot of wind blowing. Let's demonstrate what happens by turning on this fan. Oh. Sometimes you have to position them just right, which is why there's a whole science behind this. But as the turbine spins, it produces energy, which you can use to power your homes, even cars if they're electric. You can do all kinds of stuff with wind energy. So far, we've covered fire and air. I mean, the sun and the wind. You might be able to guess what's next. That's right. It's water. There are a whole bunch of ways to use water to harness energy. Let's talk about that.
Technology does wonders for energy production, as water energy uses turbines, much like wind energy. A hydroelectric dam is a big human-made structure placed on a river to harness the power of rushing water. The dam keeps the water in a reservoir, and when nearby communities need energy, some of that water is released so its movement spins turbines to power big generators. Scientists are also looking into ways to harness the energy created by moving waves. If you like the ocean, you could study renewable ocean energy. Next up is the Earth. We're covering all the elements today. Actually, there are many more elements than fire, air, water, and earth, but we'll cover that in a different video. Geothermal energy is another form of renewable energy that harnesses a natural phenomenon, in this case, the heat that is produced inside the Earth. A geothermal power plant is built over an underground reservoir, or pool of water, and this water is heated by the Earth. The water is diverted to the power plant, where it changes into steam that spins a turbine. Yes, turbines are everywhere. They're the MVPs of the renewable energy world. As you may have guessed, the turbines are connected to a generator that creates electricity.
There are actually two more types of renewable energy that I'd like to tell you about. The first one is biomass. Now, biomass is just a super fancy way of saying organic material, such as plants or even wood chips, that someone can burn and use as energy.
Last but not least, there's nuclear energy. This one might be the most astonishing. We are all made of tiny building blocks called atoms, and the bonds that hold atoms together also contain a ton of energy. When these bonds are split in a process called fission, they release that energy. In a nuclear power plant, fission is engineered to happen in a reactor, and all the energy that's released is used to heat water, make steam, and spin a turbine that's connected to a, you guessed it, a generator. That's it for renewable energy sources. I know it was a lot, so let's take a minute or two to get up, stretch, and look for things that need electricity to work. Write down your answers in the chat or on a piece of paper. All the forms of energy we've talked about so far are renewable. They can all be replenished and harnessed again and again. Let's talk about non-renewable forms of energy to renew the conversation. Non-renewable energy can't be replenished. In other words, it's in limited supply. There are three non-renewable forms of energy I'd like to discuss. The most widely known energy source is oil. Many cars and other machines use gasoline made from oil. If your parents have ever stopped to buy gas, they were using oil. Oil forms when a bunch of dead matter, usually plants but sometimes fossils, is pressurized beneath the earth. Since oil forms over many years, it won't last forever. Coal is another fossil fuel that is made of plant matter that is pressurized over time. Think of the earth as a giant microwave, and a whole big veggie platter is heated up for too long. What comes out? A burnt, blackened mess. Coal sort of looks like that, but it's supposed to. When coal is converted to gas or liquid, usually by burning it, it provides energy. Lastly, sometimes all the long-gone plants and animals beneath the earth are heated and pressurized into gases. When this happens, we call them natural gases. Just like oil and coal, natural gas is made of dead plants and animals over long stretches of time, so they won't last forever. They are non-renewable.
So there are two main types of energy that I would like to talk about, potential and kinetic. Potential energy is energy that is stored in an object, kind of like this ball. When it sits here, it's full of potential energy. When it drops, that's kinetic. Potential. Kinetic!
Potential.
Kinetic!
Potential.
Kinetic! All right, energy experts, let's put your knowledge to the test. We've taught you about all kinds of forms of energy, but we haven't taught you how to be efficient with them. But what is energy efficiency? When you use only as much energy as you need, you're being energy efficient. When you use too much energy, you're being inefficient. Let's learn to practice energy efficiency. Hey, no one's using this. Inefficient! If no one's there to receive the benefits of the fan, you might as well turn it off. And unplug it. Efficient. Inefficient! To be efficient with your faucets, turn them off when you're not using them. Much better. Inefficient!
Refrigerators use a whole lot of energy, and they use even more when the door is open. To be more efficient, always shut the fridge door when you're done. Efficient. Inefficient. Lights use a lot of power, and if you're not in the room, that's a big waste of energy. It's much better to turn the light off when you leave the room. Efficient. Whew, it's hot in here. I'm gonna change the... Wait a second. I could be way more efficient with this thermostat. So energy efficiency experts recommend that you keep this thing between 68 and 72 degrees in the winter, and 78 and 80 degrees in the summer. If that's not working out for you, you can always try to cool down with the fan, or if you're feeling too cold already, put on a sweater. There are many different ways to regulate your temperature and keep this thing where it should be. All right, now that we've shown you how to be efficient with energy around this lab, it's time for you to put your skills to the test. Do you think you could be energy efficiency experts at home? Well, I think you can with this home energy kit. There's all kinds of good stuff in here that's going to help you be more efficient with your energy usage at home. So that covers just about everything that I know about energy. In a few years, if you keep using these home energy kits and you keep your eyes open for energy all around you, you'll know more about energy than I do. And that's a really good thing. You can all bring positive energy into the world. I believe it. I'm Dr. Kilowatt, and thank you for following along with me. The EnergySmart team at DRI appreciates every single one of you. Thank you.